Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I just wanted to do a short video on the Attack on Titan differences between the prints. Now, I just wanted to sort of document this and just put it out there so it's just easily accessible. This kind of crops up every now and then, and it seems that just still a lot of people aren't aware of it. So I just think a short video explaining and showing the differences is just ideal in this scenario. So for those of you that don't know, when Attack on Titan Final Season came out, they also reprinted Attack on Titan Volume 1 and Attack on Titan Volume 2. When this was announced, they confirmed that the SP signatures were not changing color. So something that they occasionally do when they reprint sets is they change it from a gold signature to a silver signature. And they've done that with a few sets around the same time as this, which was kind of surprising, but a lot of people believed it was because Attack on Titan Volume 2 doesn't have gold signatures. They just have a lot of different colored signatures depending on the card. So people just believe that they're not changing it to silver because of that. Although personally, why not? Like, just because signatures like blue or purple, like, why can't it be silver? Like, it's the second print. The whole point is to identify it as the second print. But whatever, they didn't change it. They confirmed it was staying gold. So everyone assumed it was a like for like reprint. And it was kind of the case until people started to notice this. So for those of you with a keen eye, you've spotted it already. There's a big difference between the left and the right Mikasa SP that you can see on the screen. So the left being the original and the right being the reprint, we've got a completely different texture pattern. On the original, we have these diamonds, and on the reprint, we've got these stripes, these kind of lines going down, and there's some texture going across them. But I mean, just looking at that, it's a very good image of the differences. So I've only got the originals, otherwise I would have made a video and gone really close up. I don't have a copy of the reprints, so images are as good as we get on this. And the next SP we've got is Eren, and again, the left side being the original, and the one peeping through on the right is the reprint. So the original had this kind of like star, I guess is the closest thing to it. It's kind of these stars that are like, yeah, it's just that's the texture pattern. It's just repeated over the whole card. And then if you look here on the reprint, it's just completely different. It's just got loads of lines like across the whole card to create loads of tiny little dots. It's kind of interesting as a texture, but yeah, I mean, it's literally like a completely different texture. And those that know the set, there's obviously one SP left, which is Levi SP, and this isn't the best photos. It's slightly blurry, so sorry about that, but you should be able to see the difference once I talk you through it. I didn't notice it straight away either. So the Levi SP has sort of squares as the texture. Now the left, again being the original, and the one peeping through on the right is the reprint, still has squares, but the gaps around the squares are much bigger. These squares are the gaps are really narrow. They're really snug together, but here it's completely different, massive gap, and that goes across the whole card. It's just that you can't particularly see that in the image, which is kind of strange, because why is one of them sort of close and the rest, the other two, are just like completely different? And why are the textures different anyway? I mean, to speculate, potentially it's just due to how old Volume 1 was. Like, it was 8 years old, so recreating a card from 8 years, like the hardware and the software, it can all be completely different. It might not even read the files that it's saved to anymore. Like, so much can happen over those 8 years that could cause problems. So I think, if I had to speculate, I think what's happened here is they've tried to recreate the textures starting with Levi. They got kind of close but not quite, and they ran out of time. That's all I can think of, because when this reprint happened, they were pumping out a lot of sets. There were a lot of other reprints like Slime and Overlord where they were changing the SPs to silver. Another reason why people think that it may not have got silver SPs on the reprint was time. Like that, Volume 1 and Volume 2 reprints had a deadline. Like the whole point was they had to come out, they had to be reprinted when Final Season came out. That was the whole point. The whole point is that here's a new Attack on Titan set. We know Volume 1 and Volume 2 are like 5-8 years old, and there's going to be a lot more people in Weiss Schwarz now that weren't around when those sets came out. So let's give them an opportunity for anyone who is a fan of Attack on Titan to get the old sets as well. So they had a strict deadline. Like they couldn't keep pushing this back. And I know Overlord, I think, was delayed. The reprint for Overlord was delayed months from what I believe. So I think it, personally, if I had to guess, that they ran out of time and they just decided to put sort of any texture they had, or create some sort of texture that just looked nice for the cards, and they put them on these ones here, and that's why they're completely different. Because I just can't think of a reason why the Levi texture is close but not quite, and then the other two are just completely random. But I guess this is something we will never know. We were just never probably going to learn what happened with this whatsoever. Now, Volume 2, so I've been told the only card that is sort of noticeably different in texture is the Eren SP. So I've got a video here. I don't have an image, but hopefully this comes through okay. What is going on? Right, so yeah, again, the left one here being the original and the right being the reprint. The texture is kind of like strange anyway. It's just like loads of little marks. But yeah, I mean, that image there, like you can tell there is differences. This kind of just has like tiny specks, tiny little bumps of texture, whereas this does have a bit of a pattern to it. There's all these different types of marks across it. But yeah, so I've been told Eren SP is the only one that seems to have a noticeable difference in texture in Volume 2, which again just doesn't make much sense at all. However, it would be really interesting if one day PSA or Beckett could identify these differences in the grading process. I know before the reprint happened, the prices for Volume 1 and Volume 2 SP cards were extremely high. They were hundreds of dollars, and some were pushing thousands of dollars. And for anyone who knows the prices now, since the reprints, will know that they are, some of them are under $100. So I know someone who is potentially trying to speak to them to get them to identify that. And I just want to say, shout out and thank you to Snowball TCG on Instagram, who supplied me with these images, because without them I wouldn't have been able to have done the video and document this and just put it out there. So thank you very much for that. So I hope that information helps, and yeah, I just hope that that's now out there, people can share it, and people can come back to this video. And you know, personally, I always forget things like pull rates and things like that, so you can always just come back and just check, like, oh, is the diamond pattern for the old one or the new one, and just quickly refresh on that information. So hopefully that helps you, and yeah, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.